The whispering jungle, the jungle was alive. Not just with insects and birds, not with the rustling of leaves or the distant roar of predators, but with something else. Something older. Something that watched. A group of 5 explorers had ventured into the Amazon's uncharted interior. Dr. Callahan, a seasoned archaeologist obsessed with legends of a lost city, led them. With him were Emily, a sharp-eyed photographer, Marcus, a survivalist guide, Luis, a botanist, and Daniel, a young intern desperate to prove himself. From the first night, unease seeped into their camp. Day 1, the whispers. The air grew thick with a silence unnatural for the jungle. The usual chorus of cicadas and frogs died whenever they stopped walking. It was as though the forest held its breath, listening. That night, Emily awoke to hear whispers. At first, she thought it was Daniel talking in his sleep, but the voices weren't in English or any language she knew. They were guttural, choked, like dying throats breathing words that shouldn't exist. She woke the others. Marcus checked the perimeter, machete in hand, but found no one. "It's just the jungle playing tricks," he said, though his voice shook. But in the morning, Luis swore he'd heard the whispers too, only they had been calling his name. Day 2, the trees. Moved by midday, they realized their compass spun uselessly. The path they carved seemed to rearrange itself. Marcus hacked a mark into a huge kapok tree, but hours later they circled back. The same mark stared at them again. Emily raised her camera, desperate to document the impossible. When she looked through the lens, her blood ran cold. Behind the group, blurred figures stood between the trees. Tall, thin, with hollowed faces that didn't belong to anything human. She lowered the camera. Gone. Raised it again. The figures were closer. That night, no one slept. The whispers grew louder, layered, as if hundreds of unseen throats were pressed against the thin fabric of their tents. Day 3, the sacrifice. Luis went missing. His scream had cut through the dawn, sharp and short. They searched and found him half buried in roots, as though the earth itself had swallowed him. His chest was torn open, his ribs bent outward like jagged teeth. Carved into his skin were symbols, circles and jagged lines that pulsed faintly as though alive. Emily vomited. Daniel refused to go further, but Dr. Callahan insisted. "This proves it, the lost city is near." His eyes gleamed with mania. But Marcus muttered, "This place isn't lost. It's hidden. Hidden because it wants to be." That night, Daniel wandered from camp. Emily followed and found him standing before a colossal tree, its bark black as ash. His eyes were white, rolled back, and he whispered in the same choking tongue. His body jerked like a puppet. The tree's roots slithered around his ankles. Emily tried